Never step over a body lying on the ground. Never put a pair of shoes on a bed. Plunge a knife into the ground if you're pregnant. Never marry a woman whose name is the same as your mother. And so the people in that living room began to share some of those stories of the superstitions about the evil eye. There was a great reverence in the way they were telling those stories. Even though they were laughing with a certain nervousness in their voice, maybe out of fear of offending the evil eye. But I also noticed a gentleman sitting there with rapt attention, listening. And his eyes were filling with tears. A man about in his early 60s. From his accent and mannerisms, maybe from Eastern Europe. And then after that part of the program, and people were talking, and then I noticed the gentleman standing in a corner as though he were waiting for me to come over to him. And so I went over to him, and I asked him, "Where are you from?" And he said he was from Italy, that his parents had come from Romania to Italy after the war. And there was a pause. His eyes were still moist. And so I asked him, what was it about these stories that seemed to affect you so deeply? And he said, I never understood until tonight why my mother used to tell me that she was not my real mother. And I thought, I was dumbstruck. I didn't know what to think. To share with me such an intimate confidence when I had just met the man, but once he started that story, he could not stop. And he continued and he said, all my growing years, my mother used to say, I am not your real mother. I sold you to a neighbor. Go visit her and bring her a nice present. Now I knew, the man continued, I knew that my mother had had 2 children before I was born, but they both died as infants. But I never made the connection between the death of those 2 children and what she used to say to me, that she wasn't my real mother. But tonight, I realized she was protecting me. That she was thinking she was maybe could fool the evil eye into thinking that I wasn't really her son. And that maybe I wouldn't die like those other 2 brothers of mine. But I never felt my mother loved me. But tonight I realized that she told me that because she loved me. But she never explained why she sold me to a neighbor. And all my life I felt she was rejecting me. That maybe I wasn't good enough to be her son. And the tears started coming to his eyes, and he wiped them away very quickly. And I realized that I was in the presence of a powerful tikkun, a repair of deep brokenness in this man's soul. The evil eye, activated according to Jewish custom by its envy of others' good fortunes, was finally banished from this man's life, leaving behind in its place his mother's blessing